Since the release of the Barbie doll, it has had its fair share of controversies and negative press over the years. And let's just say, I have mixed feelings on everything I've learned. But before I get into that, please remember to like the video if you like it, leave a comment with your thoughts below, and subscribe to see future videos. I won't be covering every single controversy that Barbie has ever faced in this video, but I did pull the ones that I found both interesting and that I felt I could speak on in a hopefully interesting way. One of the first controversies that the Barbie doll faced was in 1965, just 6 short years after its release. Mattel released a Barbie known as Sleepover Barbie, who came equipped with a set of pink silk pajamas, a bathroom scale permanently set to a very low 110 pounds, and a book titled How to Lose Weight, with one simple instruction printed on it: don't eat. Obviously, as it should, this sparked a lot of backlash from the public, leading to Mattel re-releasing and renaming this playset. However, while the next iteration of the set omitted the scale, it did still come with that one-step diet book. It has since been entirely discontinued, thankfully. 1975 brought us Growing Up Skipper, Barbie's younger sister who could transition from a preteen to a teenager with just one move of her arm. How, you may ask? Simple. As you moved her arm down, she would grow in height. And breasts. Yeah, a lot of people found this doll to be very weird, and it was discontinued in 1977. In 1992, Teen Talk Barbie was released. Unlike other controversial Barbie dolls, this one did not get recalled or stopped when people complained, but Mattel did offer exchanges. Why? Because one of the phrases that some of the dolls said was, "Math class is tough." People felt as though this was hurting young girls with their confidence in mathematics and STEM subjects overall, so Mattel offered to exchange any doll with this phrase with one who didn't, and stopped putting that phrase in other Barbie dolls. In 2003, as seen in the Barbie movie, which I haven't seen but I have heard from sources who have seen it confirming this, Mattel had a playset with Midge sporting a pregnant belly with a little baby doll inside that could be removed and played with. The story was that she and Alan were married and already had a 3-year-old son that you could buy when you bought the Alan doll, and that she was pregnant with their second baby. But because Midge was sold separately from Alan and their older child, parents were concerned that she was promoting teen pregnancy. She was quickly pulled from the shelves, and eventually Alan, meant to be her companion doll in the same way Ken is for Barbie, stopped being sold altogether, along with, I'm assuming, their 3-year-old child. In 2010 came Video Cam Barbie. You could record up to 30 minutes of video on her and upload the footage to a computer. I think it's pretty self-explanatory how this could cause concern, but the true outcry against it didn't start until after it was leaked that the FBI itself released a warning to police stations and other law enforcement of the potentially nefarious purposes this doll could be used for, and people panicked. So much so that the FBI had to release a statement that they hadn't yet found any criminal activity being done with it, but they wanted law enforcement to be aware that it could contain evidence in cases if found at a scene. Still, this one was creepy, and while I didn't find information that Mattel took it off the shelves, it is considered to be one of the flops that they came out with. This next one was one of the more surprising controversies I came across, not only because of what the controversy was, but because of when it happened. I just thought that by this time Mattel might have predicted the reaction this brought. In 2010, the same year as the video Cam Barbie, a version of Barbie known as Computer Virus Barbie was released, and she came with a book called Barbie, I Can Be a Computer Engineer. Sounds like it would be a good thing, yes? Helping young girls see that there was a place for them in STEM areas, computer programming, etc. Yet, when the book got picked up and read by a Disney screenwriter named Pamela Ribon in 2014, she found something disturbing inside. Instead of Barbie being the one who was programming the computer and writing the code for a video game, it was her 2 male friends who she enlisted for help doing the actual coding. While there is nothing wrong with getting help from friends who have knowledge in different areas, the title of the book is Barbie, I Can Be a Computer Engineer. Instead, she manages to download a virus on her sister's laptop, and the two friends have to fix it for her. In the book, where the title literally states that she is the computer engineer, or at least can be, they also have a page stating that it would just go faster if the two friends worked on it and Barbie stayed out of the way. It was all just very weird and not very motivating, and once news of the book's contents went viral, Mattel pulled the book from shelves and apologized for its missteps. Okay, I saved this point for last because it is the one that is the longest to explain, and because it is the one that honestly shocked me the most. When you look up facts about Barbie and her origin story, one of the things that is echoed almost everywhere is that Barbie was the first fashion doll for girls that had an adult appearance. I did address part of this in my first video on the history of Barbie, check it out if you haven't. Specifically how the Build Lilly doll from German company Greiner and Hauser not only preceded the Barbie doll, but inspired her creation. But I have learned even more since then. In my research for this video, I discovered there were dolls that came before either Build Lilly or Barbie matching the description of an adult fashion doll meant for little girls to play with. You may be wondering how this could be considered a controversy or a negative thing for Mattel and Barbie, but when I was researching for my first video, I found several websites and articles all calling either Barbie or Build Lilly the first of their kind. I did not see anywhere mentioning any other fashion dolls that came before until I started researching deeper for this video. In documentaries and interviews, people often talk about Barbie and how Build Lilly inspired her creation, but no other dolls at the time, which there were. And they also make sure to mention that parents were concerned about Barbie because of her adult appearance. But like I mentioned, there were other dolls with adult appearances that had been out and sold as children's toys before 1959 when Barbie debuted. So it doesn't make much sense that there would be as much of an outrage as they make it seem over Barbie's appearance. One of the fashion dolls that came before Barbie that featured curves was the Sissy Doll, made by the Madame Alexander Doll Company, which was founded and run by Bertha Beatrice Alexander Berman. She had been making dolls for sale since World War I, starting her company, the Madame Alexander Doll Company, in 1923. In 1955, 4 whole years before Barbie appeared on the scene, her company came out with an adult fashion doll made of plastic with a full chest and feet that fit into high-heeled shoes. And this wasn't a small toy company that people didn't know about. At the time, the Madame Alexander Doll Company was one of the top 3 doll makers in the country, at one point being the largest one. The founder of the company received 4 Fashion Academy gold medals for her doll clothing designs between 1951 and 1954. And FAO Schwartz named Madame Alexander the first lady of dolls in the 1980s. So Mattel would have known about this company and the dolls they were making before Barbie came on the scene. So why is it that they pushed the idea so hard that Barbie was the first of its kind? That Barbie is the one that freed little girls everywhere from having only one type of doll to play with, when it isn't true. And Sissy wasn't even the first fashion doll ever made with the intention of children playing with them. From what I can tell, as early as the 1860s, there have been fashion dolls for little girls to play with. And even before that, there were fashion dolls used throughout history for, well, fashion. I don't know. I just find it weird that they have tried so hard over the years to make everyone believe that Barbie was the first of its kind intended for children. Even when they talk about Build Lilly, which again came before Barbie, they try to steer away from the fact that she too was sold as a children's toy, emphasizing the fact that she was based on a character from a comic strip that mostly adults read. Even I, when doing research for the History of Barbie video, believed this to be the case and said in the video that Barbie was the first non-baby doll for girls. Now that I know the truth, however, I can't help but feel annoyed at this erasure of real history, especially one that is about a woman who started and ran a business from 1923 all the way up into 1988, and her company is still in production today. They still make dolls to this day, 100 years. What is the point of trying to make people believe that Barbie was the first doll with a chest and high heels? MJ Tanner, a channel on YouTube, has a great video on this exact topic where they go into much more detail than me and also touch on other dolls and their creators that came before Barbie. It is a great video, and if this topic at all interests you or piques your curiosity, I definitely recommend going to check it out. I'll leave a link to their video in the comments below. So while Barbie is far from the first, she has arguably been the most successful doll of its kind, becoming a global phenomenon and spawning multiple TV shows and movies and awards. Margot Robbie just played Barbie in the new Greta Gerwig movie. I don't know, when I discovered the marketing techniques of saying Barbie was the first, parents were outraged because she had breasts, etc. When Barbie wasn't, I really got annoyed at the discrepancies and at the fact that I also was taken in. So while this might not count exactly as a controversy, it is something that I think is pretty fishy of Mattel and definitely something I don't like. And I think that it should be more widely known. I also found a Dutch study conducted in 2010. I'm going to leave it in the comments below if you'd like to check it out. It goes into the effects of having thin dolls for little girls to play with. Go ahead and look it up if you're interested and come to your own conclusions based on their research results. Look, there are still things I like about Barbie and what she has stood for over the years. I like that she's girly and wears a lot of pink and has had a million different careers in a million different movies and TV shows. But most of all, I honestly just have fond memories of playing with these dolls. I never thought of it being deeper than that until I started researching for this video. It went a lot deeper than I thought it would. And honestly, I have some thinking to do on how I view Barbie and Mattel. I know that Mattel has worked really hard to diversify their dolls in the last few years, so there are more options now than ever before. And I also know that Mattel is run by humans, and that humans are imperfect. I also maintain that Ruth Handler and others who worked at Mattel, and the people who worked at Greiner and Hauser in Germany when they created Build Lilly, could not have possibly known what having such a thin doll for kids to play with could do. How could they? It was the 1950s. No research of the kind of effects of toys on children had been done, and Build Lilly and Barbie were styled after the ideal body type of starlets at the time. They couldn't have known about the effects and controversies that would come from the body type and clothing choices of these dolls. And I do believe Ruth when she said she wanted little girls to see themselves in different careers and believe in themselves, because they started doing that pretty early on with Barbie. As with most things in life, this topic has nuance to it, and making this video opened my eyes to some new information that I didn't have before. But what about you guys? What did you think? Do you like Barbie dolls? Do you not? Did you know about any of these controversies before watching this video? Has your mind changed after watching this video? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you like this video. Check out MJ Tanner's video and the Dutch study if you like, and make sure to hit that subscribe button.